Hey, shalom, shalom. What's going on? I want to start off by giving our praises to Yah, Bashim Yahushai, Waha Rakar Kwadash. Double honors to the elders of Ru well. Peace and blessings to you brothers out there kicking the word in sincerity and truth. This is Sai Nala, and I got the Seattle brothers with me. If y'all want to shout yourselves out.
Shalom.
Yeah. Well, they were just fellowshipping with me, man. I'm out here in Seattle, and we were just meditating on a lot of articles that came out today. Just had my mind going on this lesson that I've been meaning to put out, but the Spirit was on us to kind of collab on a particular article that I actually got to give a shout out to the brother Nashar. He had sent this out a while back on the Christian Black Code slave laws. Now, what's intriguing about these Black Code slave laws is there's a lot of different topics that you can go into on it. One particular one that we're going to kind of concentrate on is how Esau has not only been instilling these type of codes on Israel, but they've been doing it since the time of the Greeks, man. Okay, since the time that they came into power. Okay, and then through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we're going to grab some precepts and Lord willing, this is edifying. As you can read on the screen, it says the Louisiana's Code Noir 1724, the primary documents. Now this is on the original people.org, and then you can just type in Black Christian Slave Codes. And this should pop up if you want to find the article and kind of read through it yourself. It's a lengthy article. We're going to highlight some points. I'll probably go back and read more of the article and highlight some of the points through the scriptures. But we're just going to hit some of the topics. We don't want to be too long-winded on this. It says to regulate relations between slaves and colonists. The Louisiana Code Noir or Slave Code, based largely on the compiled in 1685 for the French Caribbean colonies, was introduced in 1724 and remained in force until the United States took possession of Louisiana in 1803. Now, Louisiana, you got a lot of Levites, but they you saw that in the Caribbean they enforced a lot of these laws on our people. You know, the Benjamites and Levites, the different tribes out there. The code's 54 articles regulated the status of slaves and free blacks. Now, it's interesting that it talks about a lot of the Levites who were the lawgivers of our nation, and it's going to be very compelling on what they begin these codes with. The code's 54 articles regulated the status of of slaves and free blacks, as well as relations between masters and slaves. The entire body of laws appears as below. The first, Black Code of Louisiana, decrees that expulsion of Jews from the colony. So anybody that was a so-called Jew or followed the custom of the Jews had to be removed from their colony.
Right.
Letting you know that our people follow the Hebrew customs, man.
Hey, that also lets you it lets you know the oppression, the heritage of the oppressor.
Mm-hmm.
If I can read this real quick. There's a Job 27:13. This is the portion of a wicked man with Yahweh, and the heritage of oppressors which they shall receive of the Almighty. And like the brothers showing with these codes, it's been a constant reoccurring theme from the so-called Caucasian. The red Hebrew Edomite is constantly oppressing you Hebrew Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's happened. We're gonna go back further in time and show you that every generation is guilty of this oppression.
Mm-hmm.
Even the ones now that you see walking around that just want to play Pokemon Go and want to fly quadcopters and just go karting. These are the same
Edomites. Yep.
Same Edomites.
They don't want Jews in the colony. They don't want us out there preaching that we are the original Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, man. They want us expelled. They want us removed. And so that's why you have people like James White, the Edomite, Vocab Malone, okay, and then the niggas that follow him. That has never changed in the history of Esau, man, and his dealing with us. He has a heritage of oppressing our history, our culture, where we come from, what we study, what we learn, and who we are and how we be. And that's never changed till now. Okay. Article 2, did you have more on that?
I had something else. I'll find it, but you can keep reading a little bit.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
This is Ezekiel 35:5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, if I may say that. What was that, 1865, the Emancipation Proclamation was supposed to, quote unquote, free Israelites, so-called Negroes, from slavery. But these slave codes, during the time of the Louisiana Purchase, I'm not sure if it gives a year.
Yeah, they were implemented in 1724.
Okay.
But there's going to be points made that let you know that's still going on till now.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, and you know those slave codes, they're still around today.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that they're around today? Those codes are still implemented secretively by the government, by Esau the devil, and this is well after 1865, showing you that as apostles brought out years ago, the Emancipation Proclamation was nothing more than a transfer of ownership of the slaves from private slave owners to pretty much the federal government, so to say.
Well, this is a piece of how Esau builds mental prisons and spiritual prisons, and he has a history of building those mental prisons. You know, just like if you have put a dog on a leash or on a chain, okay, if you keep him on that leash or chain for so long, you can take that leash off and he ain't gonna leave that backyard.
Oh, God, a good point is with elephants. They tie them to a tree, and then once they learn that their boundary of what the length is, then they remove them from being tied to the tree, and they just tie it to a wooden stake in the ground. And just they put that little resistance, they're already trained that it's not going to move because they think it's a tree. So now that strong ass elephant can't pull out something that would take less than 10 pounds of pressure. It can easily move it, but the elephant won't.
It's a mental prison. It's a mental prison, and that's what these black slave code laws did to our people, to where Esau don't have to have any more new regulations. Niggas follow the shit anyways. Niggas will talk shit if you don't follow it.
Right.
They'll berate you, belittle you, make counter videos on you, and call you crazy just because you telling them they special, man. Okay, and we've seen that time and time, and we're gonna grab examples of the scriptures of that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
This is what you said about the dog. This is an elephant. Genesis 49:9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?
Right. And we're gonna break that down.
Yeah. Like the brother was saying. You put this collar around or chain around a dog's neck or around an elephant, and you condition their mind to be subjugated, to whether the slave master is there or not. That's the condition, in particular, as the scripture said, Judah's in, the so-called Negro, because they suffer Judah's who was heavily targeted, with these codes. Although you had Levi and Benjamin and the other tribes that suffered as well, but if you where the head goes, the body follows.
Exactly.
Right. Hey, so if I can say too, because you had Jake rising up in the time of that civil rights era, and they got their so-called civil rights, but just like the Native Americans, they never got the fulfillment of those rights.
That's right.
You're still being treated as a second-class citizen because as they were ingraining you, as they were getting embedded in your mind into this captivity, they were conditioning themselves and their children to continue to be oppressors. I got a quick precept. This is Micah 2:2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
That's
so going back to what he's saying with the Jews, cast out of the colony, they removed everything from you. They took you from your land. They took you from your place of residence. They removed you. They stripped you of your clothing. They shaved your heads. They removed you from your heritage. They coveted everything that you had as a Negro, Latino, and North American Indian man.
Because what do you think they did with those people? When they said the decrees the expulsion of Jews from the colony, where do you think they went?
Right, where'd they go? That's what I was going to say. You don't hear a lot about so-called Jewish people or Jews.
Right.
In the colonization.
There ain't no real history of that, man.
You read
those were Jakes.
Right.
Those were Jakes.
You read about Germans.
Yeah.
You read about Germans, the French, the Brits. You're not going to read about Jewish people at that time, man.
Right. Now, because you have a history of Jewish people being oppressed in America, but that wasn't at that time, man.
Right.
So-called white people being oppressed over here, that wasn't at that time, man. So where was those people at?
Yeah. What happened?
You gotta put to death, man. Oh shit. Article 3 says permits the exercise of Roman Catholic creed only.
Roman Catholic. That's a key subject right there. Roman Catholic. Who are the Romans? That's a topic going out right now. The Romans were Edomites. Red Hebrew Edomites. So-called white people. Okay, so Roman Catholicism, Edomite religion, basically, is what it should say.
Right. Edomite religion. Creed only. That's right. Every other mode of worship is prohibited.
Man.
Prohibited.
That sounds like Job 9:24, man.
Yeah. You can't. The only religion that Jake could follow was the Roman Catholic religion. Okay, so Negroes placed under the direct supervision of any other person than a Catholic are liable to confiscation. And that word confiscation means they're gonna take you up, man. They're gonna grab you up.
And where do they put you when you're confiscated and you're already enslaved?
Let me look up that word confiscation.
Where do you go?
Right.
You go to a prison, and usually you go to a prison for execution. Because when you go to jail, you don't go there to get back out.
Right.
You don't go there to get out.
Yeah, no, you go there for rehab, brother.
Right. Yeah, you go there to become a better citizen.
Yeah. Right.
That's bullshit. Right. You go there for the free slave labor, and that's what these Negro codes, if you look on Wikipedia, it tells you is slavery by another name, slavery by another means. So you had these chain gangs that were forming, and they show you that in the movie called Life. It's a movie, but it's based off of real events. Okay.
Right. It says confiscation, to seize as forfeited to the public domain, appropriate by way of penalty or public use, to seize by or as if by authority.
Oh, that sounds like rape. That sounds a lot like rape.
Yep.
Yeah.
You take by force. You got confiscated. You got raped.
To confiscate means you got raped.
Yeah.
These so-called white people, when you play video games in these competitive matches and they whoop on you, they say, "Man, I just raped you. You got raped. Your whole team got raped. What's up? You guys getting raped over there?" They love that word. You know why? Because they have a heritage of oppressors. This is the younger generation that have no experience with physical slavery. But it's in their mind.
That's right.
Just like they instilled it in our people, they instilled it in their own generations to come.
Yep.
And it's going to continue to be there.
Hey,
right.
Just like, Salaki, if I may say, just like with Jake, the scriptures say that the Jews are the Israelite foreigners that keep the laws that are law unto themselves. So it's naturally embedded within us that, for us to even have woke up to the truth, after, the mercy of Yahweh Shai. So it's the same thing, but just in wickedness, how that natural demonic seed is in Esau's.
Well, it says before they even born, man.
Right.
And it says they come out of the womb speaking lies. You know, and that's what you're saying. These are all lies. And you got like vocab alone. If we were Roman Catholics or traditional Christians,
right,
they would not have a problem or issue with that. And that goes back to their heritage of these so-called laws. Now, I want you to go ahead and grab that in 2 Maccabees. Look, we're going to read that account in the time of the Greeks of how they implemented the same type of tricks and tactics and laws basically to subdue the minds of our people, man. To put them in those mental prisons. Because you got to realize when Jake was doing these different things in the scriptures, it was happening over a dispensation of time.
Right.
Okay. So things were being implemented over time. It wasn't just 3 days later, nigga, your name now is, Epiphanes or whatever, whatever you want to call yourself, No, that took time.
Real quick, just 2 precepts.
Go ahead, bring them out.
Ecclesiastes 1:15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. It's talking about the so-called white man, the Edomites.
Mm-hmm.
They've been made to be crooked. They can't become straight.
Right.
Ecclesiastes 7:13. Consider the work of Yahweh, for who can make that straight which he hath made crooked? You see?
Boom.
So it's ingrained in them spiritually, and they have no choice but to consider and bend to the will of the Most High to stay corruptible.
That's right.
Stay wicked.
Stay wicked. They're gonna be the wicked.
Right.
Because they was made from the beginning of the universe to be wicked. All right.
Like, if I'm something I've been thinking about.
Go ahead, brother.
So like you said, it took a period of time, right? Now, it's gonna get into how Jews changed their name. Now,
you in 2 Maccabees, the 4th chapter? Yeah. Well, just start up there. Okay. Let's read it.
No, I was gonna make a point for it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
You got Nate, and what's he making his congregation do?
Follow Catholicism.
Change their last name to what is it, Israel or Ben Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's he's been the elites are whoever been pumping him with BS like Esau. They've been grooming him over a period of time, but it wasn't right when they started grooming him that his congregation changed their name. It was over a period of time.
It was over. That's right.
Right.
This is this is 2 Maccabees 4:7. But after the death of Seleucus, when Antiochus called Epiphanes took the kingdom, Jason, the brother of Onias, labored underhanded to be high priest, promising unto the king by intercession 360 talents of silver, and of another revenue 80 talents. Beside this, he promised to assign 150 more if he might have a license to set him up a place of exercise, and for the training up of youth and the fashion of the heathen.
So he was going to the king at that time and saying, okay, look, you've risen in power, okay, make me high priest over Judea, okay, or provinces in Judea, and I'll make sure not only to pay you the taxes and talents that you want, but I'll increase it if you allow me to do all these different things, and I'll have them learn your ways. Okay, so you had Jake doing that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and he stabbed his own brother in the back because it was Onias. It was Jason that did that to Onias.
That's right.
Continuing on, the latter part of verse 9, 2 Maccabees 9, the latter part, it says, training up of youth in the fashion of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochus.
Right. And to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochus, man. So you ain't gonna learn to be an Israelite no more. You're gonna learn to be a Greek. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 10, which when the king had granted and he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion.
So he brought his own nation into the Greekish fashion, man. And so now you see that now and today. And you got niggas like G-Man and all these other dudes that who are Jake. but they go to Esau to come against people who are telling them his true heritage, man, who he really is. And we see it time and time and time and time and time and time and time again, man.
I got a preset.
Go ahead, bring it out, brother.
Going right in what the brother's saying. 1 Maccabees 1:11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein, that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
Boom.
Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
And were sold to do mischief, man. And were sold to do mischief. And that was just, and there we see our people going into the way of these other nations, man. Okay, and we concentrate on Esau because that's what these guys want. They want us bending to their will. They want us selling out.
Right. Yeah.
Because they don't go after Muslims.
Right.
They don't go after the Nation of Islam.
Right.
They don't go after none of that. They're going after the men that are teaching you that you're an Israelite.
Right. That's a very good point and a very good observation. Because you could have Jake, like you said, wanting to be a Muslim, wanting to be a Buddhist, wanting to be into Krishna, wanting to be into anything under the sun. It's okay. You are free to do whatever you want. You're a human being. Live your life. Enjoy yourself. Do it that will.
It's all one guy. We all, yeah, you know, it's just all one guy with a different name. When it comes to if you celebrate Buddha, that's all one guy. If you celebrate Islam, it's all one guy. No, you say Yah Bashim Yahushua, that nigga's a problem.
Right. You gotta kill him.
He gotta go.
Yep.
He needs to be thrown in jail.
Right, and that's and just like they did back then, they're doing it now. They're trying to get these Negrotologists to be a forerunner to say no, stay black and proud.
Right.
Stay brown and proud.
Right.
You know, don't be an Israelite. Be black is beautiful. All this bullshit they got going on, and what did it say in verse 12? That it pleased them well. That what the majority of our people want the bullshit lie.
Acts 4.
That's why the scriptures say, prophesy unto us deceit.
4 and,
prophesy unto us
13.
smooth things. Tell us of deceit and lies, man.
Right.
Lies and deception.
And if I can say real quick, the reason why they ain't got no problem with them other churches, the Morehouses, is because all them churches, the denominations, go back to the Roman Catholic Church.
Exactly. Boom.
You know, they ain't got no problem with that. You know,
That's
come to the name of the Lord. You know, it's a big fight.
What's Roman Catholicism teach? The virgin birth.
Yeah, Babylonian customs. It goes back to Babylon. And hey, where are we at?
Babylon.
We're in Babylon the Great. You know, we're in Babylon the Great. That's the spirit that they want you to follow in.
Cool.
You got that? Go ahead, bring that out.
Acts 4:13. Now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Yahushua.
And so they saw Peter and John. They saw them how they were bold, going through the scriptures, breaking it down, going through the prophecies, because they didn't have the New Testament. They had the Old Testament scrolls, and they were going through history, and they were like, no, that's Babylonian. No, that's that. No, so see, in the time of this, and we did this, and boom, boom, breaking it down with precision. But they looked unlearned. They looked like they were nobodies, right?
Right.
And then they were like, no, that's them dudes that follow Yahushua. Man, hell no. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And beholding the man which was healed standing with them, they could say nothing against it. But when they had commanded them to go aside out of the council, they conferred among themselves.
So they kicked them out of the council because they took them to council because they had brought a dude in, because the dude had claimed that he was healed through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And the dude was like, no, No, I ain't finna talk shit about them. No. The dude they talking about was real deal. He fixed me, bro. And so they were like, all right, well, get him out of here, right? And then they start talking amongst themselves. Go ahead.
Verse 16. Saying, what shall we do to these men? For that indeed a notable miracle hath been done by them is manifest to all them that dwell in Jerusalem, and we cannot deny it.
Right, and so when you fast forward to today, they seeing all these camps pop up. They seeing all the breakdowns go out. They're seeing all the history go out. They seeing us breaking it down with precision. Now they getting together with it, and they see us all congregating on the internet. We getting along with each other, man. We saluting each other, making us each other jewelry and oils, and we cool as hell when we link up. We love each other, man. They don't like that shit, man.
Right. That's what this mark of the beast is about. It's going to be another device to control you. So I'm doing that spirit, the series for the spirit, RFID subtly being conditioned into your lives, man. Because it's the new prison. The only way they can stop this is by initiating that chip. Because now we can't travel without it. Now we can't work without it. Now we can't exist without this chip, and it's gonna force the true men of the Lord to actually rely on this thing that we've been practicing. Okay, and that's why.
Oh no, I was gonna say real quick. They got a show called mockumentary called CSA, Confederate States of America, and in there it's like a commercial of this bracelet. They call it the shackle, and it's about having Jake. With a shackle on it, and it's got an RFID chip in it, and the 2 Edomite women are talking. She's like, your slave run away. She's like, I'm not worried. I got the shackle.
Oh, man.
She's not worried because it got the RFID chip and it's tracking her slave.
You see?
Boom.
Real quick preset.
Go ahead, bro.
This is 1 Maccabees 3 and 52. And lo, the heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us. What things they imagine against us, thou knowest.
Bam.
You see, the Most High all this has to play out though. Okay, these lessons, these teachings are to rouse up the elect. This is what's sifting out the scattered of our people. This is what's going to reclaim us. Okay, this knowledge, this spirit that's being put out. Okay, the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai waking us up to this knowledge and enticing others to wake up. Those that have not bowed the knee, who have not been, bowed the knee to the image of Baal, and it's. I don't want to go off on a tangent.
To the image
Well, hey, you can go in on this topic, man, because it branches off to many things, and that's why this topic. I was just dwelling. It took me a month to really dwell on how I wanted to put the first lesson together on it, because there were so many ways to go with it. But through the power and spirit, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, we're going through it now, man, and it's coming out beautifully. The point is being really, really edified. I want to go back to. Acts, the 4th chapter. Did you have more on that?
No. That was it.
Okay.
Can I read this piece about real quick? Acts 4:13 it says that they perceived that they were unlearned, ignorant men, but then they took note that they were having with Yahweh Shai. And the reason why they took note of that is because this is Luke chapter 4 verse 32, and this is going on Yahweh Shai. And they were astonished at his doctrine, for his word was with power. And that was the same thing, the apostles' word was in power as well.
That's right, exactly right. And because at the time of Acts there, Yahweh Shai had already went back to the spirit world. Okay, and then he sat with them 40 days, and they went out and preached, man. They believed. Okay, and you had the haters, man. Because they didn't like that, man. So they're like, what we gonna do with these men? I'll go back to where we left off.
Acts 4:17.
Jump back to 16.
Acts 4:16, saying, what shall we do to these men? For that indeed a notable miracle hath been done by them is manifest to all them that dwell in Jerusalem, and we cannot deny it. But that is spread no further among the people. Let us straightly threaten them that they speak henceforth to no man in this name.
Boom, and that's what they want to do with us online, man. They want us to take our videos down and not preach Yahushua no more, man.
Right.
So how do they threaten us? They threaten our jobs. They threaten our relationship with our women. They call the cops on us, man. They threaten to kill us, man. They threaten to come see us.
Yeah, they order pizzas to your job and shit.
Yeah. Because these were Jake's. And you see that with Jake now, man.
Right.
You see that with Jake now. You see them doing that, man.
They call you a pedophile.
Yeah, they call you a pedophile. They do all these things to threaten your livelihood. Why? Because we're through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we're out there preaching and boldly, man. And they see more and more those of the elect clinging to this truth.
They hate Yahushua.
Kinda hate Yahushua. Yeah, they do. Okay. Yeah, bring that out.
All right. This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 11. It says, "Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake."
Right. Now, when you're talking about Jesus or God, no one's gonna come against you. The world loves its own, man.
Right.
If you were the world would love its own, right? So you see these guys like G-Man and Vocab, they come together. They all love each other unanimously on the comment boards, right?
Mm-hmm.
But really, when they come together, they're full of holes, man.
They disagree with each other.
They don't agree with each other.
They don't agree, right? We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah.
That means your kingdom is divided. Your house is divided. How can you be in the same belief of the same person, but then disagree on his mindset?
Mm-hmm.
The Most High is unwavering. He said his followers would be unwavering. He said, let this unity of mind be in you.
That's right.
So when you see them without a unity of mind, you see us in a unity of mind.
Right. That's exactly right. Let's go back to 4:18.
Acts 4:18. And they called them and commanded them not to speak at all nor teach in the name of Yahushua.
That's right. Then jump to 25.
25?
Uh-huh.
All right. Acts 4:25.
Matt, yeah.
Okay. By who the mouth, so like Acts 4:25, who by the mouth of thy servant David has said.
Matter of fact, start up.
Oh, sorry, 23. Acts 4:23. And being let go, they went to their own company and reported all that the chief priests and elders had said unto them.
Mm-hmm.
And when they heard that, they lifted up their voice to the Most High with one accord and said, Lord, thou art the Most High, which hast made heaven and earth and the sea and all that in them is, who by the mouth of thy servant David has said, why did the heathen rage and the people imagine vain things?
Now that's a precept to one of my favorites, Psalms, the 2nd chapter, starting at the 1st verse. But when you look at this word rage in the Greek, let's go to this word rage in the Greek, because it says, why do the heathen rage? Right? So that word rage.
Strong's G 5433. Fruaso.
Yeah, rage. The word fruaso, frustrate, rage. To neigh, to stamp the ground. To prance, to snuff. To be high-spirited, of horses of men, to take on lofty airs, to behave arrogantly, to be tumultuous, to rage. Okay, and so that's how these people are towards. So it's like, why do the heathen rage? Why are they being tumultuous towards us? Why are they speaking arrogantly, behaving arrogantly towards us, man?
They're rioting.
Exactly.
But whenever you see a pack of so-called Negroes or Hispanics on a corner, outside of a garment, outside of a Bible, and selling drugs and prostituting themselves, they're like, oh, look at this culture. You just can't get this anywhere else. That's what people want to experience. They come to the big city. They want to see crackheads. They want to see heroin addicts. They want to see Jake doing grimy shit because that's what they see in TV and on the movies.
Hey, that's the apostles be saying that you be having them double deckers that be sliding through Manhattan with them tourists on there taking pictures of Jake. Like
just being
zoo creatures.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Real quick, bro. Can you read verse 32 in Acts the 4th chapter?
Yep. Acts chapter 4, verse 32. And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul. Neither said any of them that thought of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things common.
And just going back to the point that the same mind, the same body. Okay, that's what they're seeing, and that's what they're afraid of with this. They're afraid of the return of Yahushua. They're afraid of the return of the Most High, because when he comes, it's vengeance, it's judgment time.
That's exactly right. Go time.
Yeah, that's it. There's nothing you can say or do now or in that time to come that's going to alleviate that judgment.
That's right. Now, when you go to Psalms, the 2nd chapter, and you look up that word rage there, it says to conspire or to plot. You know, and so why are the Hebrews conspiring, plotting what?
Imagine the same thing.
All the things that we've been talking about, how to get us to fall away from our heritage. Why does Esau want us to fall away from our heritage? So he can rule forever. Because he understands that if we receive that inheritance that was promised to us, that he has to go down. That's he has to fall.
Hey, since you said that, let me can I read Isaiah 10:1?
God.
It's Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
That's right.
And that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
That's right.
So everything that we've said from the beginning, opening up with the Louisiana Black Noir codes or codes noir, and showing you the first law they wrote was to remove Jews from the colony. You can't practice anything other than Edomite religion. You have to practice Roman Catholicism. Okay, and then it started going. That's the first thing they removed was your heritage, your identity.
Right.
Okay.
Grabbed
so they
it.
write these in the laws to
Psalms.
oppress a man in his house, a man in his heritage, because this is the portion of a wicked man to oppress a man in his heritage. He is the supreme oppressor. Okay. If it wasn't, then where and who is he?
That's exactly right.
The so-called white man is doing this. Because everyone says the Edomites the Arab. Well, fuck, to the best of my knowledge, and it doesn't point out the Arab. Google doesn't say the Arab did these things. Google says the Caucasian.
It's your faces on there.
Yeah, it's your faces on the dollar bill. I don't see Ahmadinejad.
Yeah, all them other motherfuckers.
I don't see these people on the bills.
Them niggas ain't hoes hide from who?
Even on the
they ain't hoes hide from Japheth?
Good.
Yeah, they ain't hoes hide from Esau motherfucking ass, man.
Right. When you get an American Express card, you be like, green card, there's a Greek face on it.
Check that out. Spirit had it to where it was a wreck right in front of us,
Oh, man.
Spirit had a wreck right there in front of us,
You know what's crazy?
Yep.
Dude over there
T-boned them.
cutting up, and I was going to tell brother,
wow.
Hey, this whole night, there's a camera out here that's been flashing. It's been flashing, and people are running this light. Look at this.
No. I was just.
No, he just noticed it.
I'm trying to see if I can switch this camera around so brothers can see it on here. Spirit is cold, bro.
Yeah.
So, okay. So grab that Maccabees because that piggybacks off the point that this brother was making. This is just going another excerpt. So we had jumped into the time of the Roman Empire to where how Jake was coming against the apostles in the nation of Israel, and to get them to stop speaking in the name of Yahushua. Right. I want to fast forward back because there was another excerpt. The brothers know I love Maccabees. You know, I just read it a lot. There's another excerpt there in the Maccabees, another account of how they were forcing their ways, specifically Esau, at that time on Jake.
I got a quick precept of Maccabees.
Go ahead, bring it out.
First Maccabees 5:1. Now, when the nations round about heard that the altar was built, and it's a spiritual altar in these times, and the sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much. Vocab along James, Mike, so on and so forth. Wherefore, they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them, and thereupon they began to slay and destroy the people.
Boom. There you go. And now when you read Maccabees, and when you keep reading there in the 5th chapter, it goes into how Most High had set that up, and the Edomites thought that they set that up.
Right.
They were in that spirit that they set that up, but really it was the power and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. If I can find it.
What you want in second Maccabees 6?
Second Maccabees 6 and 1. You can start at 1.
Okay. This is second Maccabees chapter 6 verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of the Most High.
Boom. Keep reading.
Damn, that's heavy. Everything that people act like we're making these things up. No, they in the world, everyone tells you go to college. When you go to college, they teach you to cross-reference information.
That's right.
All we're doing is what we were taught and told. Yeah. But now we're doing it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. We're showing you.
Right.
Look, this correlates with that. This is synonymous
with this. Boom.
This is exactly what the prophecies we're talking about.
Right.
Cross-referencing the information.
Boom. When you read here in Article 5 of the Black Code of Louisiana, Article 5 says Sundays and holidays are to be strictly observed. All Negroes found at work on these days are to be confiscated. What days of the year do you get off?
President's Day,
Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's.
You can't go to work on those days.
You can't go to work on those days. It's closed.
Right. There's you remember better than me in Maccabees where they went into the hills and the rocks to go hide to keep the custom.
Yes, that was in the 12th chapter, wasn't it?
Was that Judas Maccabees?
Yes. Yeah. And they kept the Hanukkah.
Yeah. Right. And they were asking, what are we gonna? They're asking the Most High, what are we gonna do with all these things?
Dead bodies. And then they had prayed. They did a prayer over those bodies because those dudes went off. Yeah. They had went off and went to fight when they weren't supposed to.
Right.
Judas and his company came in afterwards. And guess what they prayed? And that's another scripture that you can get on how there's reincarnation, because they prayed for when their spirit come back that the Most High have mercy on them.
Right.
So that's another scripture on reincarnation on that account. You know.
Hey, look, man. If we're not the people, then who are? That's the thing. There was another precept. I forget what it is, but it says that we're going to be known by keeping the precepts. The so-called white man is not keeping the precepts, but we're keeping the precepts. The so-called white man has been in power for so long. He's invented the printing press. He's invented the he's perfected transportation and all this shit. And with his time and his power, he has not said that he's keeping the precepts. He has not brought out the ways of the upright.
Yes, exactly right.
He swear on the Bible, but
right.
Uphold nothing.
Words don't mean nothing to Esau. He sold his birthright over words and didn't keep his word. That's why to this day he makes you sign a piece of that paper. Don't mean shit.
Yeah. Don't mean a damn thing.
That doesn't bind my soul to anything.
That's to give them leverage over you.
Right. They say, you see, you signed here. See, you signed. It don't mean nothing. But because it don't mean nothing to him, but he gets your mind in that trap.
That's right. It's a mind. It's another mind prison that he has, and he holds over you, man.
Prison black.
That's right.
Keep going.
Second
Maccabees 6 and 2. And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter.
Boom. So he changed the name. You wouldn't go in talking about Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You wouldn't go in talking about Jesus.
Oh, great God, Zeus.
Yeah, Zeus and all that other stuff, man. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, brother.
And that in Gazarim, Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire, that dwelt in that in the place.
Uh-huh.
The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places.
Right, so they just completely defiled the temple, man.
Orgies and shit.
Yeah, man. You know, there's a scene in the 300 where the virgins will come in, the so-called virgins will come in, and they licking them and shit. Yeah, they doing all types of wickedness. You know, just showing you how nasty they were, man.
Same people today, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, putting them on drugs and they pop locking on the handstand, right on the altar there. They pee popping on the altar, bro. Going in, bro. It's tripping, man. Yeah, man.
Verse 4 again. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that, brought in things that were not lawful.
They brought in things that weren't lawful, man. Go ahead.
And that's what Eli's sons was doing.
Mm-hmm.
They was popping women at the temple. My memory kind of foggy with it, but that's what they was doing. That's why the Most High had Eli. That's why he had him. He fell back on the chair and broke his neck because he didn't rebuke his sons. Verse 5.
Oh, goodness.
The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all.
It ought to be Jew. Now that goes right back to these black code laws, man. It says decrees the expulsion of Jews from the colony. So they were doing that way back in the time of the Greeks, man.
Right.
You couldn't profess that you was an Israelite. You couldn't keep the Sabbath days. You couldn't keep the Passover and Hanukkah and the Feast of Tabernacles and all these different all the different customs that we were supposed to keep, man.
Man,
Can't even circumcise your sons, man.
Nope.
Yo, man,
hey, Salakia.
Yeah.
This is Ask Define. It's a dictionary definition.
Mm-hmm.
But everything we're saying, we're not making up. We're obviously reading it from the scriptures, but also in this extensive definition, really quick, I'm going to get to the point under the section of Judaism. It says martyrdom in Judaism is referred to by the Hebrew phrase Kiddush Hashem, meaning sacrifice of God's name. First Maccabees and Second Maccabees recount numerous martyrdoms suffered by Jews resisting the Hellenizing of their Seleucid overlords.
Yep.
Right.
Who are the Seleucids? Seleucid, Seleucids, Seleucids, you know?
Right.
Okay, being executed for such crimes as observing the Sabbath, circumcising their children, or refusing to eat pork or meat sacrificed to idols. First and Second Maccabees arose from the Pharisaic tradition from which Christianity later diverged. So these Christians that don't want to deal with the Apocrypha is a cut on you.
Mm-hmm.
You should be dealing with. See that light went off again?
Yeah, I see that.
See, they're still running. People. So even this devil makes these laws and these rules, and people still don't follow them. Man.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And now we're seeing it fast forwarding to now how we're constantly being attacked because we're trying to keep the customs of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, man.
Let me read one more little sentence. It says, this is the very bottom part. It says, during the Spanish Inquisition, many of those executed were Jews who refused to convert to Christianity. Specifically, they were cryptic Jews who had pretended to adopt Christianity in an attempt to avoid persecution.
Oh.
So you even had some that were pretending, which I think these might have been some of the Jewish people at that time. But during the Spanish Inquisition, that was a lot of Jake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was a lot of Jake.
That's right, because we ruled Spain for a long time, man.
The only reason I say that is because you had Edomites back the time of the Khazarian Empire that started converting over to Judaism. and started trying to mingle in.
Right.
And Jake being the person they are because of our laws, when a stranger or alien comes in and they want to take on.
Well, Herod was an example of,
Herod,
you know, of that. And then when you were reading in the Maccabees, there was a lot of the Edomites that followed the customs of that followed our customs.
Right. It shows, case in point, an example of what the brother's saying is in the book of First Ezra, when they wanted to build the temple, and the heathen came and they said, "Look, we want to help you build the temple."
And Nehemiah.
Right. And when we tell them, no, this portion, this is what only we can do. Only we can touch these things. And they hindered us from our building. Just like now, they're hindering us from our own building.
From building the house of David.
Which is a spiritual thing now. So you don't have a physical location. And that's where this mark of the beast is going to come back into play.
That's right.
To take away our mental freedom, our spiritual freedom.
Right. Put us back into that perpetual prison. It'll be a prison in perpetuity. Which meaning that it's going. They want it to go on forever. That's right. It's never ending, man. It's never ending. Did y'all have any more precepts? Yeah, y'all. Hey, rapid fire, because that's it. That's the ones I want to read on the article. So we'll just hit the precepts you brothers got. Y'all just let me know where y'all at, and I'm gonna pull it up here on the page.
First Maccabees 1 and 41, and I'm gonna jump down to it's pretty, it's a lot, but it says First Maccabees 1 and 41. It says, moreover, King Antiochus. That's a lot. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, meaning also of the Israelites, consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
Boom. So they just consented to it, man.
Right.
And what do you have? What's this? America, all for one, one for all. They have e pluribus and they have all these different sayings of how they gonna make basically a one world order, man. Okay. Esau's always had that mindset of doing that, man. Trying to incorporate these Babylonian commandments over the people, man. Okay. There's more, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, for the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and to the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
Right now we're still in the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Right.
Who keeping that?
Right.
Name one person that's keeping it that's not in GMS. I'll wait.
Right.
Through the spirit, according to the that you have Hashem Yahushua getting down to our apostles. You know what I'm saying? Because you got these other Israelite camps that's trying to do what they do. But it's not on the Most High's time. It's not through the Spirit.
That's right.
It's on some what's convenient for them.
It's what's convenient. Exactly, it's what's convenient for them. They ain't putting it together right. They ain't doing it right through the Spirit. Now, if they did a lesson on Passover and they went through their scrolls and everything like that, because there's scriptures that speak about the Sabbath and feast days and how you ain't supposed to revel about that, man. Right? Because we won't lose certain times and things like that. We wouldn't trip. These are the camps you just be going off, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Be going off. Keeping the Sabbath Friday, Saturday, to Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, man.
Right, which is going back into the observance of the Edomites of the Friday, Saturday, Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Edomite observance. That's why that's why they're not bucking up against you.
Right.
They're bucking up against us.
That's right.
We're the forefront. We're the poster child of Hebrew aggression.
That's right.
And we're the least aggressive.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you have accounts of people in these under caps shooting people, raping people, stealing like a hoe. Ain't nobody making no videos on that shit, bro.
But the second we get together and just have a good time,
and we buy Bitcoin, they make 1 million videos, bro.
You can't smile. Right.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, like
Can't do shit.
Can't do shit. You know, yeah, we crack a smile. They make this nigga smile at this shit, all happy. I thought she was, surely oppression making the wise man mad. This nigga ain't mad. He going off. Right. So, man, come on, man. Go ahead, brother.
All right, yeah. Read a little bit more. It says, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifices, drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
Right. And then you see that constantly. It says you in 48, right?
46.
No, you in 46. Yeah, that they pollute the sanctuary and the holy people, man. You know, and like I said, I'm just bringing that point back out that that's the whole goal that they're trying to put on our people, and they cannot stop this train, man. Called the spirit, man.
Bro, I'd bet money if I had it that if we could find the records, like we're able to look up laws now in our times, a couple decades or centuries back. But I bet you if we were able to look up the laws of these Romans and shit, well, technically we're reading to you the declarations of these things. These were laws and codes, and that's
lawless.
Right, these were laws.
This is what they had implemented.
Right.
You know,
and it's recorded in our history book.
Mm-hmm.
It's recorded in the book.
That's
given
right.
to the Israelites. It's recorded in our book that the worthy and unworthy may read these portions and understand.
Right.
The deeper mysteries are for you people.
That's right.
But the surface of this is very easy to see.
Right.
That you so-called white people, you red Hebrew Edomites, are the constant oppressive factor in our lives.
That's right. That's right.
It's not going to change until you get destroyed.
That's right. Kind of.
I'm gonna just stop at 50 with the whole chapter.
Okay.
It says, set up altars and groves, verse 47, and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh.
These Christian churches, Baptist churches, these Methodist churches, the Church of Christ. When you every time they get together, they go behind the church, and guess what they eat? Pork. And guess what they do? Let's all hold hands in prayer.
You gotta hold some old fat nigga woman's hand.
Snotty kid fingers. Sacrificing swine's flesh to their idol, man. Jeebus. All right, go ahead.
It says, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
We got all the good stuff.
Right.
We got the pork chops, the ham hocks, we got the shrimp, chitlins,
They got all that bug meat. That's all it is. It's some sort of crustacean. It's an underwater bug. It's like what is it called? Not an arachnopod, like a scorpion. It's from a certain type of family.
Right.
But these crustaceans, they're just giant bugs.
Not an arachnopod, but something.
Because the skeleton's on the outside, like a spider, like a scorpion, like a beetle. It's just a giant fucking bug underwater eating dead things and poop.
Yeah.
And that's what
you ain't supposed to have it in there, man. You ain't supposed to eat it. You ain't even supposed to touch it. You ain't even supposed to touch it. If you touch it, you're unclean for like a week. Okay.
Man, she's unclean too. So she's dead 3 more times. From the room to the tomb. She's got to die 3 times to be clean. From the cradle to the grave.
Let's go ahead.
Verse 48, it says that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law.
What does profanation mean? Outside the temple, from profane. We're reading this on multiple accounts. You can just Google it. We were not allowed to keep our customs.
Right.
So going back to the Louisiana Black Codes, the first thing they said, get the Jews out of the colony.
Right.
You can have no assimilation to
Right.
culture, heritage, or customs.
Because
It has to go.
right, and they knew that they did that over a dispensation of time, raising your children under these laws, that they will forget who they were.
All it takes is like 2 or 3 generations, and it's gone.
That's right.
The mother, the child, the grandchild,
Mm-hmm.
and it's done.
It's done. And it says, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
Right. So everything that is in this earth is opposite of what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
That's exact, because every time you go in the scriptures, in the Old Testament, you read about some, and what do they say? Their excuses, well, Jesus died to change it.
Uh-huh.
Jesus died to change it.
Yeah, yep.
We're all saved. He loves us all. He changed it.
Yeah, this Babylonian God you praying to change the law, the true laws of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. No, man, when the spirit through power and spirit, the Most High was gonna raise up men to challenge that,
Right.
and people were gonna hate it.
That's right.
And then they were gonna die and come back all the way to the time of end, and those men that were always hated throughout time were gonna rule the nations. They're gonna rule the nations, because when we read about how the heathen rage, when you keep reading, he gave judgment of those men that they raged against, power over all the nations, and ruled them with a rod of iron. And that's what's gonna happen, man. Okay. Finish verse 50.
Yep.
Khan.
It says, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
He should die. He should die, man. You gotta, this guy gotta go away with. So just like I said, the Most High, even though these things were gonna happen, you still gonna have men raise up. They were gonna persecute them. Raise, if they gonna get killed, raise up person. And then you saw that in the Greek Empire, you saw that in the Roman Empire, and then you saw that over here. Those Jews that were confiscated, they just disappeared from history.
Right. What happened?
What happened to them? They died, man.
They killed them all.
They killed them. So those Israelites that were still teaching that they were Israel, they were there when we came over here in slavery, man.
Yeah, Esau don't want no remnants of the old world. He don't want you to possess anything within your memory bank of the remnants of the old world and the customs.
Right.
You portray that in your everyday actions. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going. You have a light within you. Someone that's curious to that light, being an Israelite, it's gonna rub off.
Yeah.
Esau don't want that. So no, we gotta kill these motherfuckers.
Right.
You know?
You have to question why he would allow you to do things as a Negro, Latino, North American. Why would he allow you to be a Wakandan? Why would he allow you to be a Mexican? Why would he allow you to be a Native American? Why would he allow you those customs, but not allow you the opportunity to practice being a
Hebrew Israelite.
Right.
Why?
Why is that such a problem with that?
Right. You're free to do anything except be upright, nigga.
It's in the Bible, though.
Stop hanging out with each other, niggas. These niggas like each other. They get along too well.
Stop being righteous.
But it's the Bible.
Well, check this out. Slack. I gotta read this because this is in the Black Code Laws, and I was gonna go into this later, but I gotta read this one because it was another point. This was
the congregation.
Yeah. It said Article 13. It says we forbid slaves belonging to different masters to gather in crowds either by day or by night.
You see, so like real quick, what we're doing right now is we're from different masters.
Mm-hmm.
We're from different counties, different states, under different laws, governed by different officials, be they Democrats or Republicans, or liberal or whatever. See, so technically we're in a violation.
Scriptures say, "Day unto day utter speech, night unto night show of knowledge."
Yeah, that's why you had that old cracker from London. She's like, and I didn't realize how many there were.
What the fuck? What kind of white bread bag you living in?
I didn't, I just thought it was a couple of people, and I didn't realize how many there was. Man, this is a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you jump off that Jimmy.
That's right. It says, under the pretext of a wedding or for any other cause, either at the dwelling or on the grounds of ones of their masters or elsewhere, and much less on the highways or in secluded places.
See, this is a spiritual wedding. This is a spiritual wedding.
That's right.
These are the highways that we gather on and we congregate on.
That's right. The highways and the byways.
Doing sit downs is considered a secret place.
Yep. Yep.
You know? So one thing people always ask when they come to the camp, where do you guys study at?
Yeah.
Where do you guys congregate at? I'm trying to come to a class. No, you learn the way we learn, online. You got questions? Put them on the comment board like we did. What makes you so much better that we have to facilitate our time to cater to you to come talk shit?
Man.
Because that's all that's going to happen. These guys, they just want to come to a class to feel like they have a sense of fulfillment. They're not coming in the spirit of this thing. See, the spirit of this thing is going to have you in a state where you feel like you're an outcast of society.
One more piece.
You know? Anyway, go ahead, okay. Bro, we can get 10 minutes all day, you know?
You got something?
Oh, yeah, I got some real quick.
We'll bring it out on this one. We're going to end it on this one.
All right. Yeah, hour and a half.
This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 2. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
There you go, man.
Hey, that's why these elites are getting nervous, man. You know, that's why they got their henchmen going out there trying to come up against the men of the Lord, man.
That's exactly right.
These prophecies are coming to pass now. You know?
That's exactly right, man. That's exactly right. And, you know, that's why these guys, like the James Whites and the Vocab Malones, and all these other 2/3 niggas, okay, that's why they coming up against this truth and they're getting destroyed. They're destroyed. And it's funny how I was gonna, you know, at the height of the time that these guys were coming up against us, you know, I was gonna do this lesson, but you fast forward 3 weeks later, and these guys are nowhere to be found, man.
Right.
You know, these guys are nowhere to be found. Their spirit has been totally decimated. Why? Because this truth is coming out, and it's a tsunami, man.
The truth is there's more people that don't like us that believe what we say, than there are people that like them just to like them. That's the reality of this thing. Because you'll go on their page and they get their most views when they tag Hebrew Israelite in there. But it's not enough views that's going to change anything.
If anything, you just bringing more Israelites in.
Right.
You're helping to spread the word. Right. Yeah. But you're not going to receive no benefit. You know?
Yep. Hey, got anything else? Hey, man.
They death to Edom.
Death to Edom, man.
Death
to Edom, man. Hey, and with that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, man. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well. Peace and blessings to you brothers out there preaching His word, sincerity and truth.
Good.
Shalom.
Shalom.